You think anyone gives a shit about you out here?
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared, and I give a shit about you, pal.
Yeah, thanks, bud. I know these aren't about me, though, right?
That's right. These
aren't about me. These are not about me. I'm so vain. I probably think these are about me.
Exactly. Yeah. R.I.P. Carly Simon.
So we're back. This is part 2 of our breakdown of.
She's not dead, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm gonna just gloss over them because I don't know.
She's very old, but not dead.
But as you said, everyone dies.
Yeah, that's right. So. Long life to you, Carly Simon.
Yes. So we're back with part 2, breakdown for The Last Thing He Wanted, 2020 Netflix movie with Anne Hathaway. I was gonna say the wrong Anne right there, the very wrong Anne.
Her. Sorry, that was an Arrested Development joke.
That's yeah. I got you. I got what you're throwing down there. Deep cuts. All right, let's get back on track. So I think you said it last. We got over 5,000 downloads, right? Did you say it last time?
No, I didn't. I meant to in the last episode.
Oh, right.
But I completely forgot. So
crushing it. Thanks to you listeners.
At this point, this is a couple weeks in the past too. So we're probably at like 5,020 downloads by now. Who knows?
Your support is just raking in those downloads. Thank you.
That's right.
Continue to do what you do.
Hugely, thank you. Actually, like sincere thank you, not a joke. Thank you. No, I don't think there's a lot of podcasts out there that ever hit 5,000 downloads. So.
Wow, that's a bold statement. I don't know, but yeah.
Definitely. But you know how many podcasts there are?
That's true. Actually, we're probably in like the upper like 50%.
Yeah, probably actually.
Of like the million podcasts that are out there.
Definitely.
It's because we have staying power. That's why.
That's right. Stamina.
You can't get rid of us yet. We're not going to die until the power goes out.
That's what?
I don't know. Yeah. Because I don't know. Anyways. All right. So part 2. Here we are. We're back. Like Willem Dafoe's character in this movie, I'm starting to forget things. Jared? Is that Jared? No. Okay. So here we are. Part 2. We're back. Where did we leave off? We got a lot of upcoming deaths we have to talk about.
That's right. Impending deaths. She's leaving for the airport to do the job for her dad.
That's right. Dad has finally convinced her, like, hey, you got to finish the job, honey.
I got to retire someday. Can't goblin forever.
Man. Okay. So then, we're at an airport and airfield. This is actually shots from the trailer, I think, in this one. We get the cargo getting loaded up in the plane. Or not this one. The next one when she lands. But
yeah.
And she gets in the plane, and the guy's like, "There's your first class seats, there, cupcake." Yeah. And then there's like 30 seconds, 45 seconds of her on the plane having a staring contest with some guy.
So stupid, so unnecessary. I don't care about this.
We get it. She's going into sketchy territory. Got it.
Yeah. Exactly.
We kind of know where she's going. So. And then shot from the trailer. Now the plane's landing, and then we get trucks trucking, cargoing, people unloading things. Right.
Yep, that's right.
So we're at the airfield drop here, right? And then we just get some random dude who's kind of picking up the supplies here. He's a colorful character with his shirt and everything, with the American shirt on.
Yeah,
it's like
stupid.
Yeah, and he's like, "You open the crate. And she's like, "I'm not opening this crate." And they literally go back and forth about this for a few minutes, and then finally she opens the crate, and she's
he pulls out a gun. That's what.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
He's like, "No, you open the crate."
And then she really doesn't. I mean, she just pulls the 2 nails out and she's like, "No, you open the crate now." Like, all right, just someone open the fucking crate.
Yeah. Then he describes M16s for a minute.
Yep. He starts describing some mines, and then he has some kid go place a mine and
he kisses the mine weirdly.
It's mine, you know. And the kid goes, sets up the mine, and then he whistles, and we get, before we landed, by the way, there was a truck and a dog sitting in front of the truck.
Yeah. And listeners, trigger warning here.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you are sensitive to violence against animals, fast forward like 30 seconds right now.
Yes. So he goes and sets up the mine out in the field there, and Anne's watching with her sunglasses, and then he whistles, and the dog comes running and just happens to run over the mine. Boom. I was like, wow.
Poor puppy.
Could they show that explosion in the trailer, but not the dog parts that go along with it? I was like, whoa.
It was graphic. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Alrighty.
And he's like, all right.
Kind of a dick thing to do. Yeah. I'm like waiting for the guy to come out of the bathroom or something. Like, dude, where's my dog? Why did you kill my dog? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So this guy is a piece of shit. So we learn how much of one he is.
That's right.
Okay, he's good. And she's like, hey, where's my money? We got to settle up here. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I think he actually says that, doesn't he?
No, the pilot says that. The pilot who's like driving her around, he's like, yeah, okay, good luck with getting that money. She's like, wait, what? And he's like, flight down, flight back. That's my contract.
That is all I do.
Okay.
That's the guy who knows, this is it. This is my job. I know my role. So, and we get a bunch of guys showing up.
Gang. Yeah.
Just rolls in, bunch of guns, guys getting rides from their buddies in the back. And it's not looking too good.
Yeah. And then they drop off a bag, and it's not a bag of money. It's a bag of cocaine.
Hello, jackpot.
And the pilot's like, you got shorted, by the way. In case you're not familiar with what $1 million of cocaine looks like.
That ain't it.
Yeah. And she's like, well, that means that you're getting shorted because blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, you don't understand how any of this works. Wheels up in 2 minutes.
Yep. I was like, I kind of like this guy. He's just like,
he's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's glistening boy.
No, maybe he is. So then so this part I got really confused. So she just runs away with a brick of cocaine. And then
never really comes back either. Like,
no, and and leaves the suitcase of drugs just on the airfield there, I guess. And then she runs to like this building and opens up and goes inside and is just like, hey, we got to settle up. You owe me money. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, who's this guy? Like,
yeah, like, who is this? Who is this guy?
I mean, it's Jones. We're gonna find out soon, but
right. But like, how does this all connect? Like, why is this? It felt like they missed something here.
And he's like, "Give me a name." And she's like, "Max Epperson."
Kaiser Sose. And he is thoroughly impressed, and they drive away.
Well, is he? Like, he just like I kind of like and kind of hate this scene because he just like doesn't acknowledge her. He just like gets up and like drives her somewhere. Like presumably he's impressed, but also he doesn't show it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we go.
And then they get out to some base or something or checkpoint. What is it?
I think it was like supposed to be like a Sandinista like kind of hideout or something. Like that.
Okay. All right.
But it looks like it's like they pull up to a gate that's guarded, some kind of checkpoint. And she's like, what are we doing? And he's like, nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Then they go through, there's people doing stuff. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he gets
not
out
really.
of the car. He leaves her. He's like, if anyone asks, tell him you're waiting for Jones.
Yeah.
It's like, and bold move to use your character's real name.
Yeah. And then just classic stupid American thing. She's like, I'm going to get out and walk around and take photos of military people and stuff like this. I mean, she's a journalist. I guess you got to get out there, right? I
guess. Yeah. I don't know.
It seems like not. You're down there doing basically a drug arms deal. You need to just.
Yeah.
She
pretends to
not stand out.
Pretends to take a picture of an old lady and a kid, and is actually taking a picture of the military looking guys. Yeah. And then the lady's like, okay, thank you. she's like, where are we right now? Like, what country are we even in?
Okay, thank you.
You're like, okay. And also to Anne Hathaway's character's credit, she asks in Spanish.
It's true. Yeah.
And lady replies in English. Okay, thank you. So like,
yeah,
this is intentional.
Oh my god! So then,
Jones finally comes back, right?
Yeah, Jones comes back out.
About to get assaulted, maybe by some of these guys.
Yeah, and then Jones comes back out and kind of like, "All right, let's go." And then they're driving. It's nighttime.
It's like this is like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, this is like minute wise to it. So yeah, they're listening to what song is that? Good Golly, Miss Molly. There.
Good Golly, Miss Molly.
And he's like, yeah, no one out here gives a shit about you. Like, you got screwed, basically. Like, who do you think you are?
He's asking her all kinds of stuff. He's like, have you done work with Epperson before? She's like, yeah, for sure. And he's like, I don't think that's true.
Yeah. I think you don't know. I think you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And then
I was really confused at what happened here. And he's going on about like saying he wants to make a pit stop, right? And she's like, no, just keep driving, right?
Right, exactly. Because you're like, again, we're being misled to think that he's a nefarious character trying to take advantage of her or something.
Right.
He's like waving a gun around.
Yeah, and does the gun go off or did he hit something?
No, he hits something. Okay. They kind of show it. Like I think
there's a dog. It was like a dog or some animal on the road.
Yeah.
I thought the gun went off and he just like he throws it on the ground. His head hits the steering wheel.
Yeah. Oh, so I thought the gun smashed into his mouth when he.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
I think so. It doesn't matter, but like yes, one way or another.
It's like so weird, like confusing. Like
his mouth is bleeding. Yeah. and he drops the gun and then she picks it up.
Yeah, shot from the trailer, right? So then she's got it, and apparently she knows how to handle guns, and she's
carjacks him.
Basically, GTA's him and get out.
Mm-hmm.
Presses the
Y. I need
this
more than you, I think.
She hits the Y button. He gets out, and she steals his ride and hops on Route 1.
Yeah, he's like, "How far do you think you're gonna get?" She's like, "You'd be surprised."
See ya, sucker. Guy I should be trusting, but don't. That's fair though.
So frustrating.
And then she drives to San Jose.
Yep.
Costa Rica, that is.
CCC.
And she's just driving through town. She fiddles with her bag. She just goes and buys some clothes. Like she's like gonna like what?
Yeah.
Not stand out. It's like you're Anne Hathaway in Costa Rica.
Yes.
Like whatever you wear, you're still gonna stand out.
The standoutist. Like
go ahead, wear fatigues. You're still gonna stand out. Like
yes, exactly.
And she calls Rosie Perez in the phone booth. And this was like tough. They were like hush talking, and I didn't put the closed captions up, but they're just throwing around a bunch of names. And then
she's like, tell me what you found out about Epperson. And Rosie tells her that Epperson doesn't exist.
Yep.
And this is when she tells Rosie she's in Costa Rica. She says the shipment was this whole thing. It's financing for something else. They're like, again, kind of leading to like, oh, this is the Iran Contra thing.
Yep.
And she's saying that Jones is with the Sandinistas and her dad wasn't in the loop on any of this stuff. And Rosie's like, yeah, so that Epperson guy doesn't exist, but this guy, Bob Weir, does exist. By the way, he was in Guatemala and this other place that I don't remember, and San Salvador, and all these places where bad things went down. Like he could be CIA, but like nobody really knows. Got the kind of face you don't see. And when he shows up from the trailer, it's usually the end of something, not the beginning.
Yeah. Yikes.
And guess who just showed up in Costa Rica? And so she's like, okay, cool. Tell my dad I'll be back tomorrow.
See ya.
You're like, I don't see how you get from this phone call to back tomorrow, but go for it.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. And then she's at a hotel.
Yep. And reception asks for a copy of her passport. Never let them take your passport.
No, that's
ITMT safety tip number 7, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty high on the list.
Absolutely.
Never let anyone take your passport.
No one. Yeah, that's a good one. I almost forgot about that one. It's the top 10, you know?
Yeah.
So she's in a hotel room. She's a little paranoid, right? Who's Max EpiPen? And then she gets a call from her doc guy, right?
Good EpiPen joke.
Yeah. And she gets a call from her doc guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, how'd you find me? And he's literally like, you're Anne Hathaway in Costa Rica.
Yes. Wicked funny.
And then she's like trying to work some leverage, and it's like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. That's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah. And also slightly before this, just because it's annoying how often they do this, she's like, she does this thing where she's like, Kaiser Soze replays conversations in her head, and she's like, oh, like she's putting something together, but like, yeah, she's not.
Yeah.
It's like not enough for us to put it together. It's just like replaying things we've already heard.
Yeah. I think like it's more trying to keep us like off the trail. I don't know. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, back to the phone call. He's like, it's not like buying ice cream.
Yeah.
And then he's making it explicit, like, I'm not calling the shots. Like there's a bigger power in play here. I'm not the boss of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But stay in your room and someone will come get you.
Yes. And then we cut to the lounge, right? With back in America here, the States, right?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
We got Ben Affleck and Rosie chatting away.
Yep.
Some socialism, am I right? Right?
Yeah, and he's like, we can't have socialism. Am I right?
Am I right? Am I right?
You heard what they did down there. Literacy, healthcare.
Ugh, gross.
Sick. Oh, sick.
Who wants those things? For the people. Yeah. And then she hard hitting, right? She's dropping some arms dealing stuff going on in Costa Rica, right? And then Ben's character gets visibly uncomfortable at this. And I'm like, I thought this guy was like the cleaner. How is he not? He's like not very comfortable right now. It's like, aren't you supposed to be good at this?
Well, because it's being recorded and he is good at this. That's why he's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's like, I think he's trying to like figure out what he's going to say. But yes, you're right. Like he should have played
even if it's being recorded, like you're clearly giving away everything here to like her. Yes. Anyways, better.
Because she's like, so you're arming the Contras? And he's like, no, they're not. Or they might be. We don't track that kind of activity.
Maybe. Like, I don't know.
What? Of course we have interest in the area. And she's like, okay, great. Thank you. Drinks are on me. And he goes, hooray for women's lib. And I think that was a Ben Affleck ad lib.
Probably.
That's just like something he says.
Yeah. Just his everyday life.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Sorry, Jennifer Lopez. You're. It's not going to work out for you.
It's not going to work out. All right, so then we're back at the hotel room, real quick, right? And she's smoking again, and she gets a little airplane ticket slid underneath the door. Well, she gets an envelope slid underneath the door. Inside the envelope is some plane tickets,
TWA tickets.
The old TWA tickets there. She grabs a cab, which is important, right?
Yep. Well, the cab grabs her.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yes. He's like,
hey, lady, you taxi?
You need a ride? Something?
Be a shame if there was another taxi here.
You know?
Like, wait, what?
What? So then she gets to the airport, right? And
I didn't get what was wrong with the tickets. Did you?
So at first she looks at him and it's her name, her last name, right?
Yeah.
Because it's different. It's Myers.
Oh, it's different.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was Myers. So she's like, oh, what the hell?
I wasn't paying attention.
And then the date on it too comes back later, I think.
Does it?
I think it's the same date that her father dies. Because then she reads the obits like a couple of scenes. I think
Maybe.
It was. I don't remember. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
June 30th is the date. It doesn't. Who cares?
Yeah. But she's like, she's putting something together here, and I'm kind of like, okay. And they get up to the count, like the what is that? Not customs, but maybe whatever, security check, right?
Yeah.
And the guy's like looking at her passport, or whatever, and then like the music is amping up, and things are getting like kind of nervousy, right? And then the cab driver comes running out of nowhere. Oh, lady! Hey, lady! You forgot your bag.
You got your bag. Classic.
And she's like, it's not mine. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It's not my bag.
And this guy's being so pushy. He's like, no, lady, you left in my car. Like, come on.
Yeah. And the security guy's like, can I see the bag?
And she just like rushes through and like, all right. And then he opens the bag and there's a gun and a brick of cocaine in it.
Yeah. And it says Dick McMahon. The security guy's like, yes. Yeah, this is Dick McMahon's bag. Do you know who that is? And she's like, nope.
I'm Myers. See him.
And the poor taxi guy gets mangled.
Oh, he just gets mangled. He can't be running around with a bag with a cocaine and a gun in it, you know?
No, frowned upon.
Frowned upon. Then we come back to Dad's house. All right. And the music is still going. The music was so annoying in this section. Like they're ramping it up to like make you feel like these things are tense. And Rosie shows up and like finds out that Dad was taken to a hospital, right? And the music was really amped up, and she's asking what hospital. The lady's like, I can't tell you. Are you related? I'm like, why is this? We don't need to have this big back and forth here. Just it's really annoying.
And she's like, no, something like the daughter requested that his like healthcare get canceled, and Rosie's like, what? What are you talking about?
That doesn't make any sense.
And then they just cut to the next scene because
so we're back at the old Secretary of State's office here, right?
Yeah, it's Ben and the secretary
eating some pie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Secretary Tate's like, he basically just kind of like blah, 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 talking about him moving up the ladder.
The secretary's going on about who cares.
Yeah. and he's basically just telling Ben, like, his character is just being like, yeah, you can move up the ladder, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. You're an executive branch man. I can see it.
And then they're like intercut between the other dude from earlier. This is his last moment where he's doing like a little arms deal with some random guy in a car, like what looks like in the middle of the city street or something. He's like, here's a blanket. Let me just fit this through the window. Can you roll down the window a little bit more, please?
Here's a blanket with a rifle in it.
With a rifle, with an AK-47. Can you just roll down your window a little bit more? And the guy's like, yes, this looks good. And the window is still like halfway rolled down. Like, just roll down the fucking window, make this easier.
Yeah, so stupid.
And then he hands him like the newspaper, the stack of cash, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
This is all what is going on here. But it's all shot from the trailer.
They keep eating pie back at the office.
And the Secretary of State's like, and then you know what you got to do is sometimes you got to eat it with a spoon. And clearly Ben's eating with a fork. And it's like, what is this? Is this just to show how inept and like stupid like political figures are? Yeah, like, is that what all this is? Or like just to be like, blah, 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 cover it up? I don't know. Like, so then we're in St. John's. Then we got a phone call, right? And she's talking with her kind of bratty daughter now. She's like, what was it? Like, what was this conversation about jacuzzi or something? And like,
yeah.
Then this daughter kind of leaves it like, well, dad had no clue either. I was like, what about? What is going on?
She's like, yeah, at least back then in California, I had my dad. Cause she's like, I want to go back to California. And she's like, you have to stay in Maine or wherever. Seemingly she's like
boarding school or something.
Super boonies in boarding school. They explicitly say she's in boarding school.
Oh, okay.
Point, but
yeah, I missed that.
And they also say
it out, but
up north is what where they say.
That's what we got up here, up north, a bunch of boarding schools.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
true.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. And yeah, then she's like, I want to go to California, where they have hot tubs and tennis courts and 3 cars. And she's like, what?
Brat.
Yeah, it's super annoying. And then meanwhile, the guy from the getting the rifle in the car / also, because we didn't say it back then, but that was also the guy from the airport bar from earlier.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. The guy who got I just thought it was a completely different guy.
No, because then it's this guy again who's sitting outside like watching and smoking and like doing.
Jesus, I completely did not recognize that guy who was getting the gun in the cash in the car.
Yep. Yeah.
No, did not get that.
It's the old misdirection.
Huh.
Trying to be.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett, Beach Boys, all the same. So,
right. Oh my god,
it's all yacht rock when it comes down to it.
It's Margaritaville all over again.
Oh my god. Okay, well that makes sense now. Okay, so then we're at a hotel, and I have no idea what she's supposed to be doing. I don't know what's going on anymore. At this point, I lost track. So she's at a hotel which is close to the embassy in Costa Rica.
She's just like trying to stay at a hotel, I guess. Yeah, because this is the Ramada that she was talking about earlier.
Right. So
they point like there's a bunch of military guys around her, and like they kind of make you notice that.
It's the 4th of July, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
having a little 4th of July party.
Yeah, and so then they're at the pool, and she's like reading the paper at the pool.
Yeah, it's all really weird too. Like I think I knew why they were doing like the audio, the sound to make it feel like when she reads the obits and sees her father's name in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's that. Then there's like a weird amount of focus on some kid who's hacking up a coconut with a machete.
Yeah, I didn't get like
it's like another misdirection thing.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's trying to build you up to thinking what's going on. And then we cut to her at the embassy gates, right?
Yeah, she's freaking out.
And she's kind of pulling a little bit of a Karen. And the guy's like,
I need a passport. And he's like, it's 4th of July, lady.
Like, lady, it's 4th of July. It's America's Day. Get out of here.
Yeah. And she's like, but I need to get into the embassy. And he's like, well, you can't get in without a passport. Nice.
Gotcha. So he's like, it's closed, ma'am. Come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to the hotel beach.
Yeah.
Or no, hotel bar. I'm sorry,
bar.
hotel bar. Yeah. And she's like sad eating some ice cream.
And chicken fingers. It's a combo.
Combo meal. I mean, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Ben Affleck shows up, and he's just at the bar, and they have like this little
he's like,
kind of.
Is that your last meal?
I mean,
It's literally what he says to her.
Like, not too far off.
Yeah. But I think it's because it's ice cream and chicken fingers. But
yeah.
Also,
come on.
That's a regular Wednesday. I don't know.
Like, come on, Ben.
Yeah.
So they have like a little verbal back and forth, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then she gives like the perfect world, perfect choices thing, which was something he had said at some other, when he's like, oh, you paid attention.
Yeah, stupid.
And I was like, so then I was like confused. I was like, oh, so my first thought was like, so he set this whole thing up. That was my first thought here. That is right.
That like is kind of, well, it's parts of what happened. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought the same thing. And then like, it seems like they hate each other, but also secretly like each other, which is going to come back in a second. Which I don't understand how it's such a jump, but there's zero chemistry between the two of them.
There is like negative. You can go negative chemistry. Like
yes, negative. Like it. Yes, Anne Hathaway seems actually disgusted by it. And rightfully so. She's seen the back tattoo. So
then they go on a like the hotel beach, right? He's like, hey, let's go for a walk and talk, a little walk and talk, right? So they're on the beach, and then she's kind of crying, and they're chatting more, and she basically spills the beans about the entire situation, right?
Right. Yes, exactly.
And it's like, this is what's going on. I came here for my father, stayed for the story. And he's like, that's not what's going on here. And she's like, all right, I don't know why I came. I just came and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know why you came here either. I don't know what's going on. I don't care.
Yeah. She's like, I thought I was losing focus and like losing my daughter. And I just wanted to whatever. And he's like, I just wanted to walk away from everything. And Ben Affleck looks emotionless.
He's
like, just like such bad acting.
Yeah. Maybe it's on purpose. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But he's just like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Got a daughter, huh? Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And then he's like, then they cut to like, I don't know. He says something, whatever. Stupid.
Well, she goes, so what are you doing here? And he smiles. And that's it. And then it cuts to,
well, they show him doing, he's like tickling her hand. He's doing like a little hand touchy thing. And then it cuts them just like in bed after post sexy time. Yeah. And she's topless, and they show that she's missing one of her breasts because the breast cancer that she mentioned earlier on in the movie.
That's right.
I was like, what? I was so confused. It's like, wait, what? Why did,
I don't know.
I was like, what? You have to kind of, I think, earn these a bit more, maybe. I mean,
it just doesn't,
it doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. Nope. And he says stuff. I didn't catch any of it. So I don't know. Was there anything important he said?
Yeah. Basically, they're both like, I thought you were the one. And he's like, I thought you were the one. And then he like,
what?
He talks about some other woman that died from breast cancer while he like rubs her mastectomy scar. And then she tells him a poem, and he's like, Diane loved poetry. Presumably,
what?
Other dead breast cancer women? I don't know. Very confusing. And then he's like, all right, tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to figure this out.
This, you know what this feels like? This feels like there was another scene maybe in between here to build this up. And they had to cut it because like, oh, it doesn't make any sense or like whatever. And it's like,
it's already 2 hours. Just cut.
Yeah. It's like, this is so jarring and so like, well, why is anyone doing anything here?
I don't know. It's very frustrating.
So we cut back to the hotel, and it continues just to be really jarring and strange, like, and very strange setup here, right? And there's like, and there's weird stuff just happening. Like, there's some woman trying to sell stuff, and like, police come in or the security, and they're like, "Hey, you have to get out of here." And then these two guys just stand in front of her, like, so she's back out in like the pool area, and it's daytime.
I mean, things are going down because it's sketchy guys with guns standing in front of her,
right? And she's like, "Excuse me,
you guys are blocking my son.
Excuse me." I don't know why she was like, just get up and walk away. Or I don't like, what is happening? And then they kind of trying to build up tension here. And you obviously you can feel like, oh, something's going to go down. Right. And
we see Jones.
Right. Jones is like kind of walking through, coming into like the hotel there. And then two guys who are, dressed as like, whatever, like they work there. Right.
Yeah.
They just pop up out of nowhere with the two AKs and just start spilling bullets, open fire.
And Jones is like, Elena.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, maybe he's the good guy.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't understand why he cares in it at all about her. I guess you find out at the end when you get the twist. Well, the one of many. So they they just start running together, escape the scene, right? He does his one of 2 cool parkour moves in this movie.
That's right. It's the same both times.
It's the same way. Like they literally just took the same shot and just like repeated it. Like
it looked like it was like the same railing, even, don't you think?
Yes. Like the second time they did it, I was like, I think that's the same as the first shot. Maybe his shirt is different. They just like color coded or something.
Yeah, he like jumps over a railing like into a car, basically.
It's like Dukes of Hazzard right into the seat. I'm like, whoa! And she just runs down the stairs and hops in the car. I'm like, okay. And then there's like a little mini car chase, kind of.
Well, yeah, because then this is when they show again our guy from the from the airport bar from
who also got the AK from the blah blah blah. So it's all piecing together that they're
he just sits there and like cocks a gun, and you're like, you're nowhere near shooting these people.
Yeah, you're not close.
Hold your horses, bud.
So they get a little car chase. Jonesy and Anne here, they get caught in like a little parade or something, and then they kind of sneak through. And then,
Jones, you have to explain yourself to me right now. And he's like, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Because you're the audience, and I don't want to explain anything to the audience yet.
That's right.
And then the other guy shows up, and he just opens fire up in the air, and the parade clears out, and then I guess they lose them, and then they end up in a garage.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so we're at a garage, and Jones kind of...
Yeah. He like yells at her, and then she yells at him.
Yeah.
And apparently... like he basically explains that it was a plot to get her dad killed.
Yes.
They're like, nobody would care about your dad dying.
Right. Like
let's be real.
He has a history. He was an easy mark. Right. But you should have left, but you were here instead.
Right. You fucked it up.
Yeah. You fucked up the whole plan. So, and that's a key note, right? It's a key thing to remember that he says like, oh, this was all part of a thing, right? Because it comes back in a few seconds. Well,
he says it. Yeah, exactly. He says it was all part of something, but he also then like tells her that it's her fault because it is like but he explains it to the audience. So where he's like, and it's kind of back to what Ben Affleck said in his earlier scene a minute ago of like, why are you really here? Because he was like, you could have just left. Like there were like not having a passport would not have been a blocker. You could have gotten on that plane. Yep. You could have gotten back to the States where they would have apprehended you for not having a passport.
Right.
But you would have been saved by the authorities at that point. And he's basically like, just remember in the Vietnam War, the casualties that nobody talks about were all the reporters that died. And she's like, what?
Excuse me?
Yeah. And he's like, okie dokie, I'll see you in a day or two.
Exposition says what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and she's like, all I have is left is this story. And he's like, we are meant to survive beyond our stories. And I was like, why is this guy helping her?
I don't know.
And he's like, I'm going to get a boat. There's a phone over there. We can hang out for 2 days.
Yeah. I'm actively rooting against Elena at this point.
Yeah. Just like stupid decisions, like watching a horror movie. It's like, just go home.
Be better.
Be better. Yeah. So then we're on the beach and she's just being a weird white lady standing in the water. I was like, what is this scene?
Just walks into the ocean.
And like Jones is like watching her. I'm just like, what is this whole scene? What is this? And he's eating some local fruit, and then that's it. And then we cut to a phone call.
Yeah, coconut, please, coconut boy.
Oh man,
maybe that was glistening boy.
Oh, might have been.
And there's still almost a half an hour left of this movie somehow.
What the hell?
We'll skip through it, a lot of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, so then we're on a phone call, and she's sitting there talking. She can see Jonesy out on the beach still, right? And she's on a phone call talking to Rosie and being like, "Hey, can you go tell my ex to go pick up the kid and take her away?" Blah blah blah, right?
Yep.
Then at the same time, I guess this is like your little signal here that Rosie's like, "Oh, I did get a tip here, right?" Yeah. They talk about the dead dad, and she's like, "Yeah, French intelligence agents is down there investigating the same thing you are." Yeah. And then they literally cut to a shot of Jones. It's like, oh, I wonder if that's him.
What?
Because he seems to be helping you. And then I was like, I was confused. Like, well, where's Ben at this point? Anyways, it doesn't matter. So then she's like piecing things together, kind of all the people, they're flying in front of her. She's like, wait a second.
Jones said just something about something like that he did something.
Let me pull that bit of information back in voiceover. And so you can all know, oh, right. Dad was supposed to be killed at the terrorist attack, and I'm blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So then she runs away because she's like, oh, he must be in on it. And he's like,
yeah,
Elena, no.
No. And it's, shot from the trailer or whatever. And then she's just later on, she's on the phone with her daughter.
Yeah.
Right.
She gets on a bus to leave. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's all stuff from the trailer. So, Yeah.
So then this is like her basically her goodbye to her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
is what we're getting at this point.
Too. Yeah. This is it.
Like the end of the movie, even though there's still a quarter of the movie left.
Yeah.
Feels inevitable at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's like, remember 2 things. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a shitty mom, and I don't remember the other thing. Who cares? And then they both cry, and then Ben's like, all right, Paul's going to take you from here, and we're going to extract you, and it's too dangerous. You got to get going.
He basically just gives her a bunch of instructions like the last guy. We get the same montage thing where he's giving instructions, and we're seeing it play out as he's telling her like the heist stuff, right?
Exactly.
And where to go. So then, is this like a resort or a hotel?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell this is. This whole
hotel. This
whole thing was weird. Yeah. So she's like a resort hotel or something, and this guy, what's his face there? Who's that actor? I know him.
Yeah, I know him
Toby Jones there. He's in a Marvel.
Toblerone Jones.
Toblerone Jones playing Paul Schuster. This guy was in some Marvel movies, right? Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, that guy.
Oh, he's in Tetris? Nice.
Yeah.
I forgot they're making a Tetris movie.
It's already out.
Wait, it came out already? I thought it was coming out later this year. Nice.
No, it's like on Hulu or something like that.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down for later.
I think it's like the one about the making of Tetris, not like
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's already out, I think. I think it's on
it. Looks dope. Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Glad we covered that. So
Same.
so she meets this guy, and he's just like, here's the rundown. And there's a really annoying moment where he's like literally up on a balcony, and then he turns around, the camera follows him, and he's continuing to talk to her. But I'm like, there's no way she can hear you. She's all the way downstairs, and you walked away from her.
Right.
This stupid logic thing.
Yeah.
And he just gives this big long spiel about what to do. Here's the work. You work until 2. You get off. Blah blah blah. And the rest of your day is yours. Yeah.
You get the fruit, then you get the newspaper, then you tidy things. That's your day.
That's it. Clean the chairs. That's it.
Isn't this lovely?
Yeah. This is all just so weird. And then later on, there's like she starts drawing names and like on a pad, whatever, and doing like investigative thinking.
Yeah.
And it's happy hour. I'm like, and then it's just the 2 of them drinking I guess, hanging out.
Yeah.
And
she like does her hair a little bit.
Yeah. And then she's like just rambling on about, he's just rambling on about like, I guess his past and like people he would interact with.
The only gay bathhouse in Port-au-Prince. Like, what? Like, he's like, that could have been the place.
Like, what is going on here? And then he does mention Bob here, set him up here, who is Max Epperson, right?
That's right. And I love, he just like closes that out. He's like, I may not be the smartest on the block, but when I see a dead chicken, I know what that means. Like time to go.
I'm like, what is going on? Where are we?
I don't know. He's like, people kept leaving dead chickens outside my gay bathhouse, and I knew it was time for me to go. Okay.
All right. And then Bob set him up here.
Right.
And then, okay.
So Bob gave him like this hotel and said, you work here now.
Yeah. This is what you do now.
And several State Department warnings later, this is what we've got.
Yeah. And then it's just like a resort montage, right? And it's like her walking
doing
the
her
beach,
job.
Her cleaning, hotel room, thinking, walks on the beach with a basket on her head, more cleaning. Guy smoking,
like smoking and watching her.
And then he's like, "Oh, in the middle of this montage, he's like, I got a friend coming later," and she's like, "Oh, is it Bob?" And he's like, "No, it's another friend, right?"
Nice, yeah, glistening boy, perhaps.
That's perhaps glistening boy. And I was like,
glistening man.
Yeah, we'll go with glistening man. And glistening man, just like walks up to the pool, and she's like, "Oh, I get it," and he just drops down. Poof.
Nice.
Jump right into the pool. I was like, "Oh, okay. There's your frontal nudity."
Yeah. We get topless Anne Hathaway. We have to get shortsless
frontal
glistening man.
Glistening man.
That's right.
Why are you glistening?
Rum punch, anyone?
I was like, what is happening? Where are we? What is this movie doing? And I get what they're trying to do, but it's just like,
yeah. So then she smokes and eavesdrops on the conversation between glistening man and the guy here, the hotel guy.
Yeah. They're by the pool just hanging out, right?
Yeah. And she takes that as a cue to like go sneak into his office and get something from the locked drawer.
Well, I think there's a moment when the music cued in and she had like the pause moment. Oh, because I think the guy calls her Elena, and he knows her as Elise, or at least that's what her cover name is supposed to be.
Correct.
And she's like, oh, wait a second. That's my cover, whatever. That's my real name. Yeah. So then she goes in and she smokes and breaks into the dude's desk and finds like important stuff in there, I guess.
Well, she finds a business card from Mark Burnquist. And I was like,
do we know that? I was like, do we know who?
They brought that up like once earlier, but I couldn't remember for the life of me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I know someone said like I think it was her dad at one point, maybe said Mark Burnquist at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. I was like, it's not memorable. And like, you have to explain that one.
Yeah. You have to give like a little bit of.
Yeah. But she's like, oh no, Mark Burnquist. And then he's like, Elena, or whatever, Elise, who cares, whatever.
Yeah. And then we just cut to another montage of just days passing, right? And things happening.
Yeah. Well, so I think this is like the next day. I don't think this is days passing at this point, because this is like, she's like scrubbing the chairs and the guy is watching her and she's like extra mad. And Ben's like, and then she has another Kaiser Soze moment. She's like, Ben said, don't come to me, I'll come to you. Right.
Well, then she
goes back looking at the papers, mailing the stuff, because I think she knows she's got to get out of there.
Yep.
I think this is all like the next day, basically, after the incident.
Okay. I felt like it was like a montage of like a couple days passing and things were happening. And then she like overhears Max Epperson, who was there, aka Bob, talking with the manager guy there, right?
Right.
Toby McPherson.
Important that she like had that stuff like ready to go for the mail.
Yes.
All her notes, her tapes, like all of her
recordings,
all that stuff.
Right. Which she mails off to Rosie, right?
Exactly. Yeah. She's like, out on night walk on the beach.
And she happens over here from like a half a mile away. Max Epperson, aka Bob, and that guy talking. Yeah.
This is like the big Kaiser Soze moment.
Yes, big Kaiser Soze moment. And then she goes to tell then we have like the flashback moments where she's like, wait a second. And she sees him. We get the flash back to the airport where he was in the lounge there, sitting behind her, the guy all in white. We get flashback to Dad when she was younger, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
This guy was around. Oh, Max, me and my friend Max. Peter Parker.
Exactly.
So yeah, big Kaiser Soze moment.
Yeah. And then she just runs away.
Yeah.
And like somehow finds Ben Affleck.
Yeah. I was like, I thought he was...
He said, don't find me, I'll find you.
Yeah.
And she's like, Bob Weir is here.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And then she takes a shower. And you're like stupid scene.
I was like completely lost track of why I cared about anything at this point. I mean, that'd be hours ago, probably.
Yeah. So then it's the next morning.
Yeah.
And she's like doing more poetry at him.
Yes.
And, and he's like, what do you think's out there? And he's like, not answering you. The plane will take you. And he's like, I got to stay for a bit. I got some stuff to clean up. And he like steals her Corona and like drinks half of it. I'm like,
wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah. And he's like, make sure you have the notes and the film before everything's fucked. And she's like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm going home. And like, then I'm going to call my daughter. And she does. She calls the daughter.
Yep.
And they have a little phone call. And the daughter's like, I'll be waiting here for you, like by the phone.
Yeah, which we all know is not going to happen.
Yeah, so. And then it's like the next day, and she goes back to the place where she's going to die.
The resort, right? She goes back there, and she's like, the place has been tossed, right? And
obviously, like if she had just escaped at that point, she had a whole night to escape.
Yep, just go.
Just don't do this thing. Just don't go back tomorrow to the thing.
Yep. And then we see our buddy there. He's dead. Bullet to the head, right? On the desk. And then she hides. And we
hear footsteps approaching. And it's Jones, our hero.
Right. And he's sneaking around. So we think that he's the one who killed the guy and that he's looking for her, right?
Well, not if you've been paying attention.
Well,
but like that's what they want us to think, kind of. But also,
right.
But at this point, we know it's not Jones. Like I think it's like I thought there was somebody else. But like, So she hides, and for hours, a bunch of gunshots go off, right? Right. Jones gets shot at. Like somebody sees him and starts shooting at him. Yeah. He's like, "Oh shit, I gotta leave."
See, and then wouldn't want to be.
It's like later that night. Like hours go by.
Yeah, and she just gets up and she walks out, and then that's it.
Yeah. Well, then,
is this when she walks out to the cliff?
Yes. Yep. Yep. And then it goes into the repeat of the lines from the beginning of the movie. She's like, some real things have happened lately. First, I wanted to know who was the one that put lives over.
War pigs and the profiteers and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and then
the same as the beginning.
Ben Affleck shows up and he's like,
quick cut to daughter waiting by the phone.
Right. The call that she's never going to get. And then we cut back and Ben's there and he's like, Elena. And she just turns around and we get like
2 shots to the chest.
2 shots to bang, bang. And it like this part like just didn't fit with the way the rest of the movie was done. And it felt like a very like 1940s noir, like Sin City falling off the cliff and like this over the top. Like,
I was like weirdly stylized.
Yeah. I was like, where did this come from?
It was like a Big Lebowski kind of like she's like floating in an ocean that isn't actually an ocean.
And like falling off the cliff for like ever. And then as this is happening, she's like continuing on her voiceover.
Second, I wanted to know why.
the daughter is like still waiting by the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it. This is kind of like
and Kaiser Soze's conversations with Ben in her head.
Yep.
And she's like, oh no, now I figured it out.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoops. And
then it's at the wrap up. So
wrap it up.
We're at like a trial sometime.
Yeah, or it looks like a trial, or like basically just asking Ben F. He's basically given a disposition or a deposition.
Testifying?
Deposition, right? He's like basically saying like, this is what happened, this is what I think. And she was
suspect fired on me. I returned fire and obviously killed her.
I took a shot to the shoulder here, and
yeah, and like there's like they show a newspaper article that's like journalist piece of shit.
Yeah, basically.
And you're like, oh man. And then we see that Jones is the French guy.
Yep, and he's explaining
in a separate meeting. He's explaining right to the French embassy. And he's like, oh yeah. And then we see the lounge agent who's also
French
agent.
Frenchie. Yep. French agent. Yep. And it's all coming together. This is the moment in Usual Suspects where the coffee mug hits the floor and he's piecing all together the board, right?
Exactly. They show Jones doing the same parkour scene, jumping over a railing to escape as they show Ben Affleck shooting at him. Yep. They show Rosie at her desk typing away, trying to get the real scoop out.
Because
thankfully those things she like put in the mail or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow Rosie got all the notes that Ben Affleck was trying to not
suppress
places.
Yeah. He's not very good at his job, apparently.
And the article says like CIA implications in plot. And then Jones basically explains the whole movie in French. And they subtitle it.
He definitely does. Just like,
and then someone asked Ben Affleck, why'd she do it? And he's like, I don't know. It's the last outcome you'd ever want. And then the daughter like waits by the phone and cries. And like her teacher comes over and is like, there's not going to be a phone call, sweetie.
Sorry.
And then it's like, meanwhile, Big Lebowski like floating through the air still like, and doing more stupid book lines. I hate it. I hate all of this.
Oh my God. And then that's it, right?
Yeah. The last line of the movie is, and yet still.
Like what?
That's the end of the movie.
Oh,
they tried to make it artsy or something. I don't know at the end, but it's like
just
maddening.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's the movie. That's the whole enchilada.
I hate it.
Yeah. You want to we'll do a little Jared and Russ ameliorate?
Yeah, why not? You have any ideas off the top of your head?
Oh man, so many. I can't spit them all out right now.
I mean, for starters, make it shorter.
Yes.
Cut half the movie.
Yes. I think there's like a lot of filler stuff that definitely wasn't needed. It just felt really jarring, like the pacing of things, the editing. And I know it's tough to like they're trying to throw a lot of red herrings out there and make you think it's one and blah, 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 which is, I think, generally fine. It just felt like such a mess. Like it was tossed together and it felt like it was like overly convoluted just for the sake of it. It's also like having the multiple twists. Like I feel like you knew from the beginning it's going to be Ben Affleck. He's not a good guy. And then forcing in this little love thing. It was such a terrible Band-Aid to kind of, don't worry, he's a good guy because they had sex. And it's like, this is cheap.
Yes.
Yep. Cheap way to do that.
Agreed.
So I think you got to change that.
I want more Willem Dafoe, but a completely different character.
Yes. Yep.
I want even less Ben Affleck.
Yeah, if possible. Yes.
If possible.
If possible.
I want less Anne Hathaway. I want more Rosie Perez.
Yes.
Give me the character that wasn't in the book.
Yeah, I want Rosie Perez and Willem Dafoe figuring out who's the arms dealer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the movie I want.
That sounds great. Make Jones the star of the movie. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I would totally watch a French like undercover agent doing like that's cool. Jones rips. Yeah.
I also think like the whole when we talked about like using like this factual event, right, as your backdrop for then telling the story, like maybe in the book it probably works out fine, obviously it does, but in the movie, like, do you need that opening? Do you need like that kind of like, because like throughout the rest of the movie what's going on, like, right,
it doesn't
like,
matter.
It doesn't matter, like like the story is actually about
like the story is so self-contained comparatively.
It's like just cut all that, get rid of that, like we don't need that, like
yeah, it has like no implication. I mean, Rosie Perez is trying to say there's implications here, but like, this has no implications on the larger picture. Yeah.
I mean, in the story, I like felt like it changed to being like it didn't know quite what it was, and was like, oh, the story is about her, saving her relationship with her father or something. But like, why? Like
you give her relationship with her daughter more.
Yeah, like you give us no reason for that being a thing, and then just being like, well, I'm gonna chase the story, and it's like
sick.
Have like a core motivation or goal, not having like all of this in like a noodle soup. So
like I do like that they had her die at the end and not get redemption. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but do it better. Make the whole movie about Jones. Just make me a Jones movie. I'd watch that. Redo this movie with Jones as the star.
Yeah, just do it from Jones's perspective.
Yeah, I would totally watch that.
I think it just felt it's just so choppy and too many twists. Yeah, I don't think like
unnecessary twists. Like
that felt like they were just over the top. Like we know what this is. We know who the bad guy is. It's the U.S. government's the bad guy in this. Like
right,
like
almost always.
Like yeah, I mean, if you know anything a little bit about the situation, like you know who's at fault here. So it's like, yeah, of course Ben Affleck's going to be the guy who's making like. Yeah,
it felt like tone deaf. I don't know. It's just like I've seen this movie before. And I don't. Yeah, right.
Done better a million times. So
yes, exactly.
All right. Well, hopefully that's helpful.
No one's going to fix this. I mean, hopefully Dee Reese is going to go on to do great stuff, her first couple, flicks that were allegedly great. We haven't seen either, but
yeah, I mean, I do love a good political thriller, but this isn't it. So
no,
it's earned its 5%.
Yeah, generous. Not surprising 13% from people either, because it's so confusing and boring.
Yeah,
like if you're going to try to do what you did here, at least explain it better. Make it 2.5 hours. Make it extra long and like actually play it out.
Yeah,
slow it down a little bit. Explain the characters and their motivations more. Make us care about make us care about the daughter. Make us care about Ben Affleck. Like Ben Affleck's barely in this movie.
Yeah, and I think just that's the other thing too. Like she was just kind of just moving through this plot basically,
right?
And it just felt like
I didn't care about any of the characters really.
No, I didn't.
Except Jones. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, actually, Jones was the only one that was kind of interesting.
I was like, who's this man of mystery?
Yeah, that one. He was the only thing that was interesting about the whole thing. But yeah. Oh well, what are you gonna do? So that's it. Anything else? Any other notes or comments or stuff?
No, I guess not.
All right, let's close this deal out then.
The last thing we wanted.
Yeah, Peter Parker. All right, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a new movie. We don't know what that is yet, but we'll be back with it. So
that's right.
Just stick around and listen. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, or ITMT Pod on Twitter. wherever you listen, Google's, Apple's, Spotify's, subscribe, whatever. And if you think someone might like it, pass it along.
Yeah, word of mouth goes a long way.
It's the best of mouth. No, that's not the right phrase.
No, okay. That's right. That's exactly right. Word of mouth is the best mouth.
Is the best of mouth, yes.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of mouths and words, you can write a review. That's like word of mouth because other people read those and then listen to us afterwards. So same kind of marketing, right?
Yeah.
5 stars would be nice. Maybe a comment. Give us some, I don't know, a gentle ribbing if you'd like.
Yeah.
People don't pick on us enough, you know.
I don't need that.
Well, I kind of want, I don't know. I need someone to keep us in check. You can send us an email if you want. Send us long form feedback. Tell us how much we stink in like 1,000 words or more. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or go to the website and you can find all of our old episodes. You can find information about the show, soon to be information about all the things that we promised you over the years.
Yeah. Over the years. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's right. And it's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out.